Good afternoon and welcome to your On TV News Desk. Here in the studio this afternoon, I have special guests Diana James and Troy Chandler, and they're here to talk about Troy's trail and Jessys' journey, both connected by hydrosyphilis. Now, first of all, how are you guys doing today? Sorry, I just kind of dove right into it. Didn't even give you a chance to.
Doing very good. Nervous with the circumstances going on in Ottawa with Jessy right now. But
so let's start with that then. So Jessy is 9 years old.
Yeah.
As pictured in the background here, cute little girl, and she has been diagnosed with hydrosyphilis since she was 5.
Correct.
And right now she's in Ottawa. She just had her first surgery dealing with the cysts on her. Are they on her brain?
They're in the ventricles.
In the ventricles. Can you tell me a little bit about her experience with her diagnosis of hydrosyphilis and the impact that's had on her family to start.
When she was 5, she was diagnosed. They did a surgery to put a shunt in to drain the
fluids.
To drain the fluids, correct. Which she couldn't do any sports or anything because any bump on the head would knock the shunt.
Right.
So it was been hard on her for that aspect. For the past, since just before school ended, she started getting terrible migraines again, which stopped her from being able to even go to school or sleep or stand.
Wow.
So they went back to Ottawa and they did an MRI, and the cyst in the middle of her brain is growing. So now what they're doing is trying to assess the fluid in her brain. So she has the wire in right now, which means she has to be still in bed for 48 hours.
Wow.
Which is great for a 9-year-old, right?
I can imagine that she's probably not enjoying that.
And then they're going to block the shunt to make her sick because right now her ventricles are too small to do anything. So they're hoping that by blocking the shunt, it'll make them bigger so that they can remove all the little cysts and
hopefully that will end the
stops the migraines.
Yeah, so basically she hasn't really had the opportunity to take part in a lot of the things that normal kids get to take part in, and
right.
it's hindered a lot of the social aspects of growing up. So people can follow the story on Facebook, right? It's called Jessys' Journey.
Correct.
And the care that she receives is primarily in Ottawa?
Yes.
And I've heard she has a new doctor, and that's going well. How many years has she been going back and forth from Ottawa since she was 5?
Since she was
before
5.
then even?
No, I believe since she was 5, maybe 4, but right around that area.
Now, I imagine that her family incurs a lot of bills in terms of hotel stays and who knows what else from doing the back and forth. If people want to support, how can they do that? How can they support Jessys' journey?
Well, I'm looking at probably starting a GoFundMe page. I'll post that information on Jessys' journey.
Great.
I may be doing another benefit soon because they're not going to send Jessy home until they've completely fixed the issues this time.
So there's a chance she could be in Ottawa for a while still. So in terms of, Jessy, her well-being right now, from what you know, is she positive? Like, how does she perceive, this whole, it has to be a lot for a 9-year-old to take in.
It is. Her mom posted on Facebook today that Jessy said she didn't need the giggle juice, but maybe give it to my dad.
So she does.
So she's in pretty good spirits.
She's in good spirits.
Well, and we went out to my wife and I went out to a fundraiser in Hayden just this past week, a bake sale kind of thing.
Right.
And she saw my wife and I coming in across the door, and she'd just come running across, and with her smile is just amazing. Just lights up the room. It just gives you a big hug, and she's pretty special. So,
and Troy, you can speak a little bit to this, I'm sure. In terms of the diagnosis of hydrosyphilis and treating it, it is, from what I understand, it's something that there's still not a ton of understanding as to, where, in terms of public knowledge. People don't really know, like when you say hydrosyphilis, how many people know what it is?
I know, that's the way we were when we first were diagnosed. We walked into the office and he said hydrocephalus, and it's like, hydrocephalus, what is that? We didn't know about it, and that's why us coming home, we were scared, we were alone, didn't know what to do, so we started up we contacted Hydrocephalus Canada, which was it's an awesome organization to help get balls rolling with doing stuff.
Right.
And we started a walk, an informal group here to talk to people, and that's how we met Kathy and Jessy.
Right.
And their family was through
This kind
the
of support.
fundraiser that was set up, and then they jumped on board, and it's just nice being able there informally to help one another.
So how old were you when you got your diagnosis?
I was 28.
28.
And that's the thing with hydrocephalus. It can be in the womb. It can be a kid like Jessy. 28. We've got people in our group that are in their 60s that are getting diagnosed. It's all over the board.
It doesn't target one age group specifically.
No.
So you guys met through Troy's Trail then? Is that kind of what?
Well, met at the benefit that
benefit.
Diana had put on, and that's how we first came in contact with Jessy, and we supported them through that, and then we've just through everything, talking daily stuff back and forth with, hey, did Troy have this? Did Jessy have this? And we can get Jessy and her family in touch with parents that have kids that have it too, so they can talk about
And
the
use
kids,
those
relate back
supports.
and forth.
Yeah.
So that's what started it all.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back here with Troy and Diana to talk a little bit more about Jessy, about hydrocephalus, and about Troy's Trail. So stay tuned on TV. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back to your On TV News Desk. Here still with Troy and Diana. Excuse me. So we've talked a little bit about Jessy's journey and how right now she's in Ottawa for could be a while still. Now, Troy, what kind of treatment is available here for this? Did you have to do? Have you had to do a lot of back and forth to Toronto or Ottawa as well, or?
Yeah, I've been I was diagnosed in '94, so I was 28, and I've been sent to Sudbury. I go to Sudbury.
Okay.
I don't know how it happens. I think it's through your family doctor and who their contacts are.
Right.
But yeah, I've had probably about 12 surgeries. I've been back and forth to Sudbury a lot of times
Wow.
for shunt revisions because the shunts malfunction. So that kind of stuff happens. I've been good now for like over 10 years though. So.
But it could.
You just
There's
don't
no
know.
knowing,
You just
right?
live with that. It's in the back of your mind every day.
All the time.
Like, yeah.
And it's something that they can maintain, but there's no magic cure, right?
No, they put the shunt is the shunt
Is the cure.
Is the cure, yeah. And they don't do it here, but they.
So anybody who has hydrocephalus in the Sioux has to travel somewhere else in
Yes.
order to. So they
Yes.
will have to find a way. Even though our healthcare we have healthcare coverage, all of
Yes.
those additional costs come out of pocket.
Absolutely.
Now, so Jessy's in Ottawa. We talked a little bit on the break, just off camera, about what was next for her and her family. What's the best outcome right now? That she gets into the Ronald McDonald House, that she is able to come home right away and have care at home. What is the expectation out of this?
Well, hopefully they'll figure out what's causing the migraines sooner than later, and they'll be able to come home. I'm glad that they're actually keeping her there until they have everything figured out this time, instead of sending her
back and
home to
forth.
suffer.
Yeah. And we talked about how she has a fluid buildup, but she's also dealing with cysts as well. Now, how does that play into what hydrocephalus is versus just an additional problem that's enhancing the issues for the doctors?
Well, I think that the cysts are.
I mean, I know you're not a doctor. I'm trying to put you on the spot, but
No, I know, but
it complicates it.
it does, because now we just found out through contact with Kathy that they've found pockets of water, fluid, that the shunt isn't getting.
Right.
So is the shunt not working, or are these cysts causing fluid buildups somewhere else that the shunt's not getting at?
So there's additional problems that hopefully they
So
can.
do they have to put in another have two operating shunts? I don't know.
And is that something that's possible?
Yes.
It is possible?
Yeah.
So, in terms of the supports available in Sault Ste. Marie, if somebody wanted to get involved with the network that you've created for support, how would be the best way to contact, be it the Hydrocephalus and Spina Bifida of Ontario, or is it of Canada?
Yeah, it's Hydrocephalus Canada now.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a fantastic organization. Anybody looking for any information, they can lead you in the right direction, and that's what they did with me, and that's what they've done with Kathy and her family, with Jessy, and we have our Troy's Trail organization that my wife set up online that you can go to and you can follow our story, and there's Jessy's journey to follow their story. We do a fundraising walk every year where everybody with these two conditions can come out to for mutual support. It's just like it's a fundraising thing, it's an awareness thing, but it's also a time for everybody to get together with
and
their
be
guards
social.
down
Yeah.
and just be happy with be comfortable and happy with one another.
And so and there's a website for Troy's Trail.
Yes.
Troy's Trail, I'm pretty sure it's troystrail.ca.
Yes, I think so.
And you can find out more about Jessie's journey on there as well.
Absolutely.
Now, and I'm going to just encourage everybody to stay tuned on Facebook on Jessie's journey for updates on her condition, also for updates on upcoming fundraisers and the potential GoFundMe page that you're thinking about organizing.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing all this information with us. I know it's a stressful time being family, being a support for this, but
Thank you for doing this for us to help to raise the awareness for this.
No problem, and we're hoping that all of our viewers will tune in and learn a little bit more about what hydrocephalus is and learn more about Jessie's journey and also Troy's Trail. Thank you both so much,
Thank you.
and stay tuned for more news coming up on TV after this.